Hello, it's time for Swiss Family Chapter 9. Remember, they found something growing that was fluffy and they wondered what it was. So this is called A Holiday Then Horror. That doesn't sound good. I examined the soft, fluffy balls that Fritz handed me and then announced, "Why, it's cotton." "Cotton!" exclaimed Francis. "What's cotton?" "It's a plant from which most of our clothes are made," Fritz told him with great authority. "Come," I said to Elizabeth, "take a look. This discovery is going to make life here a lot easier." Well, maybe easier for them. I have a feeling Elizabeth is going to get stuck doing this. "Indeed it will," she answered. "Let's bring home all we can." So cotton grows on a plant like a little puffball, but you have to do a lot before it becomes something that you can make clothes out of. The ripe pods had burst open and the wind had scattered their contents over the ground. Some of the white fluff had gathered on the bushes while the rest floated gently in the air. Working quickly, we collected as much cotton as our bags would hold. In the meantime, Elizabeth filled her pockets with seeds to plant in her garden above Tent House. "You know," I said as we trudged homeward, "this is an important occasion, not just because we discovered cotton, but for another reason too. According to my calculations, tomorrow will be our second anniversary on the island." Wow, they've been there a long time. "Is this really true?" Elizabeth asked. "I can hardly believe so much time has passed." "It is true, my dear. Think of all the adventures we have had and how good God has been to us. I'm going to declare tomorrow a holiday, a special day of celebration." "You mean we're going to have a party?" There they are collecting cotton in big bags. It doesn't weigh very much, so you can have really big bags. Francis was jumping for joy. "Oh, I can hardly wait." Actually, Francis didn't have long to wait, for when the morning dawned, Elizabeth and I had the entire day's festivities planned. Greeting my sons on the lawn beneath Falcon's Nest, I said, "You boys have been practicing wrestling, running, swimming, shooting, and horseback riding here on the island for the past 2 years. Now we are going to see who are the champions of these various feats." And so the competitions began, with Elizabeth cheering the boys on and Turk and Flora running alongside them. Unquestionably, the highlight of the day was the horseback riding event. Fritz mounted Lightfoot and Ernest rode Grizzle, but they were no match for Jack's skillful handling of the wild buffalo. A practiced groom could not have managed a thoroughbred horse with more grace and ease. Here they are racing, and the buffalo is out ahead. "Jack, my boy," I boomed out, "I hereby declare you the winner of this contest." "No, Papa," interrupted Francis, "you haven't seen what I can do yet." And into the arena rode Francis, mounted on his young buffalo bull, Brom, who was only 4 months old. Elizabeth had made a saddle of kangaroo skin and stirrups that adjusted to Francis's little legs. There he sat, a whip in his right hand and his animal's bridle in his left hand. With his brothers urging him on, Francis proceeded to maneuver his steed beautifully. Around and around the ring they went, with the buffalo obeying instructions to the letter. "Francis," I said, "I'm really proud of you. What an expert horseman you have become." When the contests were over, we hurried to the grotto, which was ablaze with torches. Elizabeth, as queen of the day, was seated in a special elevated chair decorated with flowers. As I called the boys forward to receive their prizes, she gave each one a kiss on the forehead. So there he is riding his little buffalo. "Fritz," I began, "you are our champion swimmer and expert shot. This English rifle and hunting knife are your rewards." "Thank you, Father," he said, coming forward to claim his prizes. "I shall always cherish them as a remembrance of this day." "Ernest," I continued, "you are, without a doubt, our best runner. Please accept this gold watch for your own. And Jack, these steel spurs are yours for your outstanding horsemanship. Thank you, Father, they both said with big grins. Now, Francis, I haven't forgotten you, I assured him. For your skill in riding your buffalo, I present you with these new stirrups and a box of colors. Congratulations, my son. Thank you, Papa, he said, shaking my hand firmly. This is the best holiday I have ever had. There they are getting their prizes. Turning to Elizabeth, I slipped my arm around her waist. My dear, this sewing box is my gift to you to thank you for all your courage and support during the last 2 years. There were tears in her eyes as Elizabeth opened the box and fingered the needles, thread, and scissors inside. Thank you, she whispered. I think this has been my favorite holiday, too. And so our day of celebration ended on a very happy note. The next morning, we were all back at work, since we were well aware that the rainy season was close at hand. For safety's sakes, we usually worked in pairs. However, at noontime, Jack mounted Grizzle and rode off alone to Flamingo Marsh. Here he hoped to find some thin willow twigs with which to build nests for our pigeons. As he reached the outskirts of the swamp, he heard nothing but the mournful cry of a whippoorwill. There's Elizabeth getting her sewing box, and she's got a little tear in her eye. Wonder where he was hiding that stuff. Jack proceeded slowly on foot, stopping occasionally to examine the rushes. To his dismay, they were much too thick to cut. Deeper and deeper into the swamp Jack went. Suddenly, he came to a spot that was a mass of soft black mud. Oh dear, he muttered to himself, this isn't the way I want to go. As he turned to retrace his steps, his feet slipped and he fell into the mud. Before he knew what was happening, he was up to his knees in the wet mud and sinking faster. Quicksand, he shouted. Help! Oh, somebody help me. And there he is in the quicksand, and I believe that that is the end of the chapter. So we'll have to wait to see what happens to him.